Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. An appropriate quote for this episode. Denn die Toten reiten schnell, for the dead travel fast. It's derived from a poem by Gottfried August Berger and is whispered in the ear of Jonathan Harker as the carriage arrives to take him to Castle Dracula in Bram Stoker's masterpiece. Our campaign is Horror on the Orient Express, and this is episode 68. I'm your game master, and Jeff Wilkins will be giving the recap. Well then, it looks like the carriage has arrived. The players are ready. Let's begin our journey into the darkness. Jeff?
Bit of a long recap, sorry about that, but we covered a lot of information. Our last episode started off with a group being gathered in Rupert's cabin on the train. He's gone missing and his cabin is a mess, as if there was a struggle. The steward has searched the obvious places on the train and he's nowhere to be found. Eldridge has had a bit too much to drink and is in fear for Rupert's life and ours. We continue to search the train, looking for Rupert, and end up towards the front of the train by the fourgon. There's no sign of him. We turn to go back to our cabin when we are all overcome with a feeling of terror and dread. Something is waiting for us in the lounge. Eldritch steals himself and enters the lounge car. In the cabin is a tall man dressed in fine blue clothing. He looks ancient. He demands that we give him all of our Sedevkar statue pieces and to remove all the garlic. Clearly, the garlic is a weakness for him. Dr. Keith is emboldened by this and steps forward and asks what his name is, to which he responds, "I am the Count Fenelick." The Count admits to having followed us along our journey, and at times even killing the members of the Skinless cult in order to protect us. He's letting us do all the work in collecting the statue, and now that we have all the pieces, he's demanding that we give them over to him. And with that, he throws Rupert's head on the ground in front of us and proceeds to bite the neck of the steward standing next to him. Eldritch tries to ask him a question about the statue, but the Count instead moves at an incredible speed and grabs Eldritch. Dr. Dawkins runs at him with the Mim Sahis knife. Just then, the Count sinks his teeth into Eldritch's neck, but in the next moment, he throws Eldritch aside to the ground with a look of confusion and frustration. Dr. Keith manages to remove the ruby from her handkerchief, and it causes the Count to burn on his skin. Again, the Count is surprised by this, and he surprisingly retreats into a cloud of purplish smoke towards the back of the train. Eldritch pushes away Dr. Dawkins as he tries to help and runs to the bathroom. He emerges from the bathroom with a gash in his hand, and instead of bleeding blood, he's bleeding ice water. He, nor us, know why. A moment later, the Count sends us a message via a steward that apparently he has some sort of mind control over. The Count tells us if we don't give him the statue, he's going to kill everyone on board the train. We debate or review our options, and it's not looking good. We finally decide we need to gather all the pieces in the lounge and fight if we need to, and hope that we can make it till sunrise, which is in about another 2 hours. He makes another attempt to get the pieces from us by threatening to kill a little girl in front of us, but we manage to hold him off as the first lights of dawn break. He transforms back into the mist and then escapes the lounge area. There are bodies on the train, so they stop the train and are ready to call for the authorities. We are questioned and we don't admit to anything. We're going to be questioned by the police probably once we arrive at the next stop in Stalingrad at approximately 11 a.m. later that morning. That brings us up to date.
All right. So you've been questioned. You have the train had been delayed because of the incident. It's currently still stopped, and they assume that it's going to get back underway shortly. What are you going to do?
Where are we? Are we still in the lounge, or are we in like a brig?
I believe that you've all moved back to your... Yeah, there's no brig on board the Orient Express. That you've moved everything back to one of your rooms.
Is there someone watching us? Is there someone in the room or outside?
No. Once again, you guys are above suspicion. You're obviously supposed to be on the trip,
That's good.
on the train.
And there's no blood on us.
The rumor now is running around that there is some sort of maniac on board the train.
Okay, so I look at the group and I say he has to be in baggage or in one of these rooms.
By the way, did you guys get the layout of the
Yes,
train?
I did. I haven't pulled that.
Right. I actually have that available that we could pull it up as we're playing. I put numbers and things on the rooms.
I told the group that he has to be in baggage. He has to be in the foregons.
Agreed.
Unless he's in a room.
I'm not so sure.
What do you think, Frank?
Well, I would agree with you, except for the fact that he turned into a mist. I mean, at this point, I mean, maybe. I mean, we don't know what a vampire is or does. All we have to go on is what we've heard through myths and so forth. I never heard that they could turn into mists.
I heard they had transformative powers, but I don't remember anything about Mist. But we've seen him on the train. He's been a cripple in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Which maybe that's he wanted us, or I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm throwing it out there that he might or might not.
I look down and I shake my head and I say, we have to kill him. That's not an option. There's no other. We have to kill him.
Absolutely.
The pieces are at least safe, though, for now.
I think we should. We need to specifically arm ourselves, don't we?
What? Garlic?
Well, I don't even like to say it, but stakes.
I lean back on the bed, and I'm just like I'm taking him back that we're even having this conversation right now.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, but I mean is it not traditionally what one does? One binds the vampire while he sleeps during the day, and drives a stake into his heart.
Well, in the Slavic portions, it's you have to take off the head and shove their mouth full of garlic. That's the only way they won't come back.
Well, there are other traditions that suggest iron nails
Or silver.
Oh well, yes. At risk of this turning into a bloodbath, I would rather suggest that we try everything that we can think of.
Well, me and
Stake
Frank,
through the heart, cut the head off.
me and Frank can attest to the fact that vampires don't seem to have any aversion to religious symbols.
Yes, but the garlic certainly works.
Yeah.
We know the garlic. We know the ruby, although the ruby seems to have some sort of a risk attached to it.
Yes.
Well, he also, I don't know why, but he seemed, I mean, he could have just been surprised that I didn't have blood in my system, but it could also be the running water thing, Dr. Keith. I wouldn't want to risk it, but...
We also have the Mem Sahis, too, which could be quite a powerful weapon against him.
What do we do?
Well, the Mem Sahis would certainly give us a mechanism by which we could behead him. That's for certain. There is a certain poetic irony in perhaps dismembering his remains, like the simulacrum. I think I noticed outside that there's a broom cupboard.
I nod.
And I wondered if we could perhaps wait until no one's about, take a couple of brooms from the broom cupboard, snap them, sharpen them as best we can, secrete them about our persons, and head to the foregone during the hours of daylight. But I mean, even then, the literature is divided on this subject. Now the only the only subject I've read, the only book I've read on the subject is Montague Summers, and he seems to support the idea that vampires can't come out during daylight, but of course Bram Stoker in his book suggests that they're simply weaker.
Well, and then there's well, in my culture, there's the myth that vampires died unnaturally. They committed suicide. There are people that committed suicide or died of unnatural, supernatural causes and have come back because they've been tainted by evil. Maybe that's what happened with him. Maybe the leprosy, or he got tainted by some dark magic and he came back immortal.
Those are the locations, by the way, of your rooms on the sleeper car.
I was thinking, I just want to throw out these couple ideas that I had. That we know he doesn't like garlic. We don't necessarily know what it does, but we just know that he's got an aversion to it. We know the ruby has an effect on him, a painful effect. We did see him start to smoke, I guess, when the sun rays hit him in the morning. So I think it's safe to assume that the sun rays have a detrimental effect. And other than that, as far as fighting or combating him, I think that's all we know, unless I'm missing something.
Well, I'm thinking that if we're going to attack him, we need to, right now, since we have daylight, we should have things set up, perhaps set up a room with no windows, and maybe even the cracks in the doors at the bottom of the door, so that he comes in, we shut the door, and we can take care of him. Disappear. Perhaps Dr. Keith can pull out the ruby. I'll have the knife. Everything that we have at our disposal. He won't be able to.
When he turns into a mist, we should just get a fan. I'll blow him right away.
Has the vacuum cleaner been invented?
Even if he turns into a mist, the ruby still may have an effect on him. Mist and he leaves. It's not like he turns into the mist and he stays around in that form.
Tom, when we were in the lounge, we saw him turn into a mist and whisk himself away. Which direction?
Towards he was always on the side of the lounge towards the sleeping cars.
Okay, and the sleeping cars then become the foregone and the
No. It's you're in the lounge. Behind you was the kitchen, and then the foregons.
Okay, so he's here with us on one of these cars. He's not in the foregone. He's in one of these cars.
He pulled Rupert out the window.
Hmm.
During the night.
Do you think he's on
Imagine.
top of the car, or like a teleportation thing? But he has to physically be with us. He's been following us. He can't just teleport back to a location and teleport to us. He needs to know where we are to teleport to us.
But he can move with extraordinary speed.
So now we have to take that. We'll have to find a way to take that advantage away from him.
What are you thinking, Dr. Dawkins?
So he has some sort of effect towards the garlic. I want to see if I know about chemistry, so I should know the a knowledge roll on this, but I should know the chemical compounds of, and basically I could probably come up with some sort of chemical, something that can.
Dr. Dawkins, go ahead and do an idea roll.
Sure. And I got a 23 out of 80.
Garlic has always been considered a blood purifier. Why? That's still debatable, but
I know that garlic is acidic as far as pH goes. What I'm trying to think of is like maybe if we get some, well, we have garlic, we have plenty of it. If I can try to particularly juice it, we don't have like a juicer or anything like that, but maybe come up, I can get some of the juices out of it, and trying to figure out a way where I can have some sort of chemical reaction, make it in a sort of gaseous form. Into gas, we can break it, and that gas will intermingle with him, and it might slow him down.
But how long would that take you?
How long would that take me, GM? Or
feasibility, I'm not even sure how you would do it. If you're trying to make something, well, I'm trying to actually think practically. Let's say you got a whole bunch of garlic and you minced it really fine and took a couple of cups of minced garlic and dumped it in a thing of water, and then, well, they don't have spray bottles, but you get the idea. But would that somehow render the chemical properties of the garlic unusable or not working the same way?
no, it's, unless you heat it up, changing the you're not changing the shape of it, you know.
The question might be, though, whether it's soluble in water or whether it's
well,
the water would just dilute it. Anyways, those things aren't things that you can actually find out unless you tried them. And if you try them and they don't work, then you've banked all.
You said that we have to go through the kitchen car
to get to the foregrounds. Yeah, the
Um,
cars that I showed you are pretty much in order. Well, here, let's go ahead and take this opportunity for the people who are watching. I'll show them the train.
Because in theory, we could see if we can source any more garlic in the kitchen on the way to the foregons.
Actually, it's not a bad idea to mince it and I mean, as fine as we can get it. Maybe, I mean, I'm not thinking that we can get it into sort of a powder form, but if we get something close to it, we can.
Well,
For
might
instance, in
not
the
the
mist, we can try to.
might not the kitchen actually have garlic powder? I mean, there's garlic powder and garlic puree in my kitchen.
Everything on the train is fresh. They're not
Fresh.
going to be serving you, and they might have a limited amount of garlic too. You know, in fact, you've probably eaten up a lot of their garlic because you've asked them for it. Let me show you this really quick. Now the train's actually longer than what I've got here, but at the top there you've got the locomotive, and right behind the locomotive is the coal box there, and then you've got the fourgon number 1, and there's 3 main areas that have storage, and then there's fourgon number 2 and 3. They're exactly the same, just with more and more and more storage. And then you've got the dining car and the salon car. You can see the bar there in the middle, which what we're calling the lounge. And then after that, you've got your sleeping cars. And the sleeping cars go all the way to the back of the train, except at the back of the train, there's a less fancy one for the employees. It's not that less fancy because it is the Orient Express.
If the story of vampires having to sleep in soil, if that's true, then he would have to have something stored in one of the fourgons, because he's not going to get a man-sized container full of soil into one of the sleeping cars. For a start, the doors aren't very wide.
But we saw
if that's the case, if he does need a box like that, we could just destroy that, couldn't we? Or befoul it with garlic. Then he'd have nowhere to retreat to.
But the problem is that we saw the mist head towards the sleeping cars when the sun came up. They didn't go back to the foreground.
You would expect that something that's hundreds of years old would have the sense not to reveal its real location during a tactical retreat.
He could have retreated out of the window. Well, you could have gone down towards the sleeping cars, retreated out the window, and gone towards the front of the. I'm thinking if we do find something of like just getting rid of it, I mean, why don't we carry it out on a deck somewhere? If we can find like a deck outside where we can. He'll be extremely weak then, and then we can go ahead and
open one of the loading windows and just take the lid off and throw the whole thing out.
Then if we do that, we don't know if he's going to be. We know that it might weaken him. The sun might weaken him. We don't know if it will. So the idea here is we want to make sure that the job is done.
Well, I'm sure that I've read that they need to retreat to a container of their own soil in order to recuperate.
We're assuming that all these legends are. I'm sorry.
Just to bring it up at this point, each of the fourgons has a steward in charge. He acts as guard and as like a inventory taker when things go in and come out. That doesn't necessarily mean that he wouldn't help you find a lunatic who's hiding somewhere in the train. Unless
he was under the control of the said lunatic.
I mean, so we're actually going. Yeah, we're actually going on a lot of assumptions here based off of some lore that we've read or we've come across. in the past. We don't know how true it is, though.
Very, very much.
I'm
so.
thinking he has power, to influence people even during the day, but perhaps the sun, perhaps or whatever, he doesn't have that control. He's probably trying to recruit. So we don't know. Nothing really beats a failure but a try. So go out and these guards gather some information right now while we have daylight. The question I wanted to ask is: are there windows in the storage areas, or
No.
are they completely?
Actually, I take that back. There is a little sleeping area in there for the steward in charge. So that is like a little cabin. It's towards the center of the foregon, and
Okay, but
there is like a little
foregone
observation
is
area where he gets, he can look out the window and open the window, but most of it,
But-
where the storage is, there's no windows.
It's completely dark.
Not really. Well, there are lights.
Okay.
But it's
Well,
not. Yeah.
Lights, but I mean, like it's no natural light,
I don't know. Let me look at them.
natural sunlight.
The map shows like windows.
The map, in fact, does show one window in each storage area.
Because Frank is a photographer, I'm gonna ask this because he would know these numbers. Are the lights on the Orient Express like? What is their color? Are they tungsten or are they daylight?
I think this came up when Tom had us do the gaslight part, where they're pinch lights. It's a type of gas.
That was in the 1800s. They have electricity now.
Oh, it is electric.
Mhm.
Okay.
Which is why I
Sure.
ask: are
They're
they
able-
tungsten or are they daylight?
I don't know. Whatever they had in. What's the difference? What's tungsten?
Tungsten is like an orange. It's a lower Kelvin rating. Daylight is like the color of the sun, the sunlight. So 50 cents.
I don't know. I think they're incandescent bulbs. Just.
I would tend to say
they're
they're
kind of
probably
yellowish.
just normal tungsten bulbs.
Well, because I'm curious to know. I wanted to see if maybe we can replace bulbs, and maybe it's the color. It's on the color spectrum. Sunlight. It doesn't need to be from the sun. It needs to be the color of sunlight to do damage to them.
I don't think they
Well,
had that
It could
technology
be,
yet to make that kind of
and I don't
light.
know. Yes, it is physics. So, I mean, light is on the spectrum, but I think what's really affecting it might be ultraviolet.
That's
Light.
true. Could be just the UV rays.
So one question I have is, we have about a 2-hour window before we get to civilization and the police. Do we want to try and accomplish this all before we get to the police?
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think that we should start now. And I stand up and I'm going to go get the brooms and I'm going to make, I guess we should make small like spears. Things that we can hide in our coats, but when we pull them out, they're large. They're slightly larger than a steak.
I will take like about 30 minutes with the garlic, and I'll try mincing it up. The garlic juice, the steaks that we're making with that. And my thing here is, if we do find him and we thrust a stake in him, not necessarily in his heart, but maybe just in him, the garlic, and incapacitate him for just a bit, slow him down.
Yeah. Can't hurt. I mean, at this point, nothing I don't think can hurt, except it's just a gamble if it works or not.
Well, it's a gamble. I mean, one way or the other, we're
Yeah.
going to have this confrontation. I say we come in there with as many tools as we possibly can. And if they don't work, then we move on to the next one. We don't. We're not going to be upset about it. We're just going to go full on. If something doesn't work, we'll move on to the next thing.
Although moving on from that, actually, that ties in with what I was thinking, which was that if we have garlic, we could perhaps string up garlic at any exit points from whichever room we're searching on a room by room basis. So vents and doors and things, doors and windows and vents, to try and impede him from going through there. If we can find his coffin, can't believe I just said that. We can either get rid of it or befoul it. Steaks, we can make steaks. We've got the Mimsahis. We've got the jewel, ruby.
And I know that those two items are going to be the ones that would be the most effective.
Yes.
Because
what if we cornered him with garlic, and then we use the ruby to finish him off? Like if he appears and comes at us, we get him in a corner with the garlic, and then one of us removes the ruby, holds it up, blasts him.
Right. Again, I'll use some minced up garlic. He goes into vapor mode. I will try to fling that at him.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything?
Yeah.
It may work, it may not work, but We'll
I wonder
see.
what would happen if the ruby physically made contact with him. Mind you, that might just make him immune to it. I know that it doesn't affect those. It doesn't seem to burn the person holding it.
But remember, it's used towards the undead. So maybe if
Yes, of course, yes.
Right.
we're living.
Well,
so maybe
I'm just worried that if it touched him, he might start experiencing that hatred as well. That could, if
But
anything, make
if
him more
he's
dangerous.
undead, then
Dr. Keith, do an idea roll.
I've got 20 floor out of 80.
Think back to the Dreamlands and where the heart came from, the heart of hatred. And what its effect was during that final conflict.
It was the sorcerer's heart, wasn't it?
Well, it was what the sorcerer wanted.
Oh yes, it was from the that's right.
But he was already dead. So was the crone. And it burned them both up once it was exposed. Well, she was smart in that she threw it at him and he caught it.
Oh yes, of course.
And when he did, he just immediately was destroyed. He was turned into ash. Well, not instantly, but rather slowly and excruciatingly.
Well, we must act while it's daylight.
It's still, you
So-
guys have been deliberating this. It's still only about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
well, how many cars are there?
There are 3 fourgons.
And how many sleeper cars?
Sleeper cars, there's probably about 7 or 8 of them.
It makes sense to do the fourgons first. I think also the fourgons are going to be more difficult to get into.
Yeah. We should just work our way from
and-
back to front.
And this is the last leg of the train trip, so all of the rooms are full at this point. The train is full.
I'll use my charm when we reach the sleeper cars to see if everyone is who they say they are. I look directly at the group. I think I've come a long way.
Are you still drunk?
I'm going to take this.
Yeah, any remnants of alcohol in your system have been purged from you by the...
I know. I'm being serious. I'm good with people.
Well, I would agree. I think logically we should start with the foregun first if we're looking for a coffin-type object.
Yeah.
I think also if we get a steward who seems
Well, one of who
to be under
who
the
was it
influence.
that the head of who witnessed Amalek?
The chef de train is is named what the hell is his name? Mr.
Marcel Wave.
Ambrosino.
Okay.
His first name is Coy. Like C-O-Y, Coy. Ambrosino. And that's a piece of information that you would have just known. You've got a new one every time you get on the train, but you know that almost immediately. Because he's like Henry. I am at your service. He speaks 7 languages, probably.
So I'm going to grab some of those broomstick ideas. I'm going to grab this that I nabbed out of the kitchen. And I'm ready to go.
As I said, there's probably not garlic powder.
Okay.
They
Well,
cook fresh.
I'm going to grab the other half of that broomstick, and taking my little pipe knife, I'm going to start sharpening it.
And I'll get to work on mincing up the garlic.
I'll tell you what, it's not that hard to obtain a couple of brooms when nobody's looking. So they're blue. They're blue handled. They've got blue paint on the handles. Everything on the train is blue and gold.
Might be a good idea maybe to rub a little bit of garlic on the tips of the stakes as well. I mean, every little helps.
Sure.
All right. So you've armed yourself with how many? Let's say you get 4 stakes out of the 2 brooms that you've got.
Can I put like a camouflage headband around my head, like the Frog Brothers?
You put what around your head?
So, never mind, it's a joke.
Oh,
It's a bad joke.
I will hand Eldritch my sword cane, and we'll apply the garlic on the blade of that as well.
As well.
So now he has something. Yeah.
I'm excited to use your sword cane. I didn't get to use it last time. I've been a little excited to use it ever since I held it. See why I had it now.
Was it you or was it Frank who asked Knuckles?
Eldritch.
Or was that?
Or no.
It was Eldritch? Or
was
was that? Or of one of the stories we read?
No, I think I remember. Somebody mentioned, I think,
somebody
doing the recap.
I remember you handing it to me when I was going to fight Fenelek, but he attacked me and I dropped it. I didn't use it.
Okay.
I've got a car.
We'll plug that.
All right. So where are you going to go first?
Can you pull up the map again?
Sure.
Foregone 3 would be our first one that we approach, right?
I believe that is correct. Foregone 3. Yes, and you're coming in from the left-hand side at the bottom.
So 9 would be the first one that we would get to.
Correct. So when you come in, the steward who's down at the other end, he sees you, and he comes down here and he's like, yes, may I help you?
Hello. I don't think we should stand on ceremony. There's a maniac.
I'll say that, we're helping looking to look for this man who attacked our friend and the other crew members.
Well, sir, nobody has come in this car.
Well, we just want to make sure. This person could be hiding in this car somewhere, and he's already killed a few of the staff members here. We don't want to see any more. So, we're just going to have a look.
I need you to persuade him.
Boy, why am I got to be the persuader?
Because you were talking.
Oh, boy. Nope. Oh, man. 57 out of 30.
Do you want to burn up all that luck point? Somebody else can try to convince him.
Monsieur, there is a dangerous madman loose on this train.
Oui, madame.
We must search for him for the safety of everyone on here, including yourself. I couldn't live with myself if we didn't search this carriage and you were later found dead.
Madame, if there is a piece of luggage that you need to retrieve and you can show me that it's yours, I can help retrieve it for you. Go ahead and do a persuade roll.
56 out of 50.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a luck moment.
Burn 6 points of luck.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, madame,
Luck's getting luck now.
I will allow you to look. If you need any assistance, please tell me.
Thank you. We'll try and be as quick and as discreet as possible. Thank you.
Right. Do a spot hidden. Well, wait. Where are you going to go? Obviously, you're going to go to 9 first, right?
Yeah, 9 first.
All right. Do a spot hidden.
$36 out of 45.
There are no crates or boxes large enough in this room to accommodate a person getting in.
Okay, well that's quite a reasonable metric for figuring out where his box would be, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Unless he can transform into a mouse while he sleeps or something, in which case we're in trouble.
And Bram Stoker's, wasn't it in Stoker's book that changed shape or something
Well,
like that?
you saw him change shape.
Right, he did the wolf, if I'm not mistaken. So,
however, in Bram Stoker's Dracula, he did have to rest. So,
should have just asked the steward which room the coffin was in.
I was this close to saying that, actually.
Où est le coffin?
oh, madame. Ne sais pas coffin. All right. So what's next? 8. You guide us. All right. Go ahead and do a spot hidden.
$12.
Your conclusion is that 8 also has nothing in it large enough that would look like a coffin size. Most of this is hand luggage and things like that.
I just thought of a minor point that I'm going to bring up, that I made it a point to bring a stake, but I didn't bring anything to bang a stake in with. Can I bring like a book or something?
Yes, which book?
A Bible, if I could get my hands on one.
Yeah, I'm probably sure you'd find a small Bible.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Go on.
Well, I think 7.
All right. Spot hidden.
You go ahead. I'm going to head to the observation room and check in there really quick.
Well, that's where the steward lives. So,
well, he could be a vampire. We don't know.
It's just living quarters, very similar to yours, though not quite as luxurious obviously.
All right.
43 out of 45.
Room number 7 has a number of trunks that are fairly large, and one large looks like a wardrobe. What do you want to do?
Can I smell it?
Sure. It smells like cedar.
It's no earthy.
A mixture of cedar and garlic.
No, just cedar.
No, I mean, because we've got
actually there's a taint of mothballs too.
Is it locked from without?
It is.
It would seem unlikely. If there's a lock on the outside of something, then it would seem that unlikely that that's the object in question.
Okay.
Well, we can make note of it, and then if something looks better, we can check that first, or we can always come back to this.
Yes, that's a good idea.
All right.
Okay.
So you pass through the foregone too?
Yes.
Go ahead and do a spot hidden for 6. What are the rest of you doing?
Waiting for her to fail.
Yep. I'm looking over crates as well.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to wait long. I got 53.
Your luck had to run out, didn't it?
So I got 53 out of 45. So.
Who do you want to make a spot hidden roll now, Tom? Me or Jeff or Dr. Dawkins?
Well, first I'll say this room is pretty much packed tight with luggage. It's possible that larger luggage could be in the back on the bottom, which you can't quite see. Who want? Well, Eldridge, you said you were looking too. Go ahead.
Okay.
Do a spot hidden.
Yes, you go and have a look. I can't see a bloody thing in there.
45 out of 65.
Okay. You kind of employ a little bit of a trick. You push some of the boxes out of the way and you reach your hand back and try to feel, and you can feel that there's more luggage behind this luggage, but it's not any bigger than this luggage.
It's not made of wood and filled with dirt.
No, it feels like there's probably not a larger box hidden back in the back.
Okay. So I look back to the group and I shake my head and I pull back.
All right.
Group.
Next.
5.
Let's go
5.
and check number 5.
All right. You notice that you go into that little sort of observation area, and then you go in from the side into 5. And 5 is packed up pretty tight. There are a number of trunks, and you can't see all the way to the back. It's similar to the other room, only this room is packed even tighter. You would have to move stuff around.
Does it look like this area has been disturbed at all?
No. Everything is actually rather neatly put together.
Do any of the trunks or boxes look like they have a vent on them?
A vent?
Yes, a vent or holes.
No, you don't see anything like that on any of the trunks or boxes. Go ahead and do a spot hidden. Dr. Dawkins, what are you doing? You're just standing there watching
34
too?
out of 45.
All right.
I'm out also. I would imagine that all of us are actively looking.
Okay. Well, why don't you all do
something.
spot hiddens? I have no problem with that.
Well, you just passed, right, Mick?
Just.
Yes.
I failed.
I failed as well.
Frank?
Fail.
Okay. As you're looking around, you're sort of getting ready to give up on this room because it's got too much stuff in it. But Dr. Elizabeth, you look, and sort of between the cases up in the front, you see an edge of a crate in the back that looks like it could be a much larger crate. You're only looking at one end of it, and it could only be 2 feet deep or 2 feet wide, but you can't tell at this point. It could definitely go all the way across the room, or at least halfway across the room, and be a crate large enough.
Okay.
You'll have to move stuff.
Well, I'll make a note of that for now.
Do
Okay.
you guys want to continue on to 4, and I can start moving boxes around?
Let's search all the foregons first, because if we find one that's like, obviously a coffin,
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
then we know we've got it. Otherwise, we can just come back and work our way back. We
Yeah.
have
Alright.
to come back anyway.
So we have possible in number 7 and a possible number 5.
Yeah, we've got
All right.
the wardrobe in number 7 and the crate in number 5.
All right, number 4. Go ahead and do a spot hidden, whoever wants to look.
Pass.
73. No, my
I
eye.
pass
I've
as
used
well.
my eyes up for the day.
Fail.
Well, Frank and Dr. Dawkins, you immediately realize that a lot of this room is food, dried goods that are being stored here.
Okay.
You don't think there's anything big enough for him to get in
Any
unless it's
garlic
a
powder?
crate of beans. What's that? No.
Any garlic powder back here?
No. No garlic powder.
Okay.
Ah, finest garlic. Handy.
All right.
Number 3.
Number 3 you look into, and it's all mail that's being transported. So nothing large. A few packages, but mostly bags of mail.
Okay. Duh.
Number 2, there are a number of crates that could maybe hold a body. They're kind of short, but if the person inside were to, get into a fetal position, they would fit.
Was Fenelek a tall?
Yeah,
He was quite tall.
he's probably about 6 feet tall, maybe a little taller.
Not that it matters too, but he also said he was coming from his home, which was in France. So maybe, I don't know if it's possible, but if there's a fancy French-looking bag or crate.
Maybe one with seals and postage from France.
Mm-hmm.
Or a big Yves Saint Laurent coffin.
Go ahead and do a spot head and see if you see anything from France.
An FT coffin.
No, I don't.
No, I got a 95.
I passed.
Nope.
24.
Dr. Dawkins finds a box. It's about the size of a shoebox with markings from France and asks you all, do you think he could be in here? You did say 95.
I shake it too.
Yeah, it sounds like rats. No, it doesn't sound like rats. Eldridge, you don't see any. You find some markings on some of the larger things, but it looks like they came from Eastern Europe, probably from Sofia or maybe Budapest.
All right. Nothing in here.
Well, are these crates large enough to hold a body?
Like I said, if somebody was in a
Ones
fetal
from
position,
Budapest?
yes.
Let's mark it as something to come back to.
It looks like they're nailed closed, too.
Do we see any sort of like, if it's a wooden crate, there should be like a small seam in between each in between each piece of wood, unless it's one whole.
No, it's definitely a constructed crate, yes. Nailed closed. Probably contains goods of some kind. It doesn't look unusual in any way.
Okay.
All right.
While we're here too, of course we're smelling like garlic, but I will be trying to have the sense of smell going as well within our searches. See if there's anything that's a bit off.
All right. Room number 1 proves to be smaller stuff.
Okay.
And
so
it's now about 10 o'clock.
Okay. Which room was it that we said we were going to stop? Was that 5?
5, yeah, the 5 would be the first one we go to all the way back.
Yeah, let's go back to 5 and look at that.
All right. So you get back to 5. The steward, it's a different steward. He tips his hat to you as you go by. We didn't really go through it, but if you've gotten this far in the foregone, then you must have permission. So
okay,
he's not hindering you in any way.
I'll start grabbing some of the boxes, start moving things around.
Okay. Go ahead and do spot hidden.
Hey, 21 is a hard.
I got a 17.
That crate that Dr. Elizabeth saw, it doesn't look like a crate. It looks like a wooden box, and it is longer than it originally appeared. You still haven't uncovered enough of it, but at this point, you're starting to think that's our best candidate.
Uh-huh. I'm going to
Let's
take the
help
precaution
Frank.
of yes, yeah. Well, just before we start doing any more, I'm going to take the precaution of hanging up a clove of garlic at the window, and another one at the door.
Okay.
Okay.
So your next move, you're going to you continue moving stuff out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
After
Yes.
a couple of minutes, the steward of the room, he comes and he says, "Pardonnez-moi, do you need to get something? Can I assist you?"
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get to this large crate
Okay.
here.
So he starts assisting you by moving stuff out of the way. And within a couple of minutes, you found your best candidate. It's a wooden box, very fancy, looks definitely not like a coffin, but like a fancy box, big enough that you could easily put a body in it. There are various markings on it, or whatever they put on them, stickers or whatever, that do seem to trace, at least in part, most of the way back to France.
To France?
Yeah.
These are all good signs.
Before we do anything else, let's lay some cloves of garlic around this box
Is the
or this casket.
gemstone warm to touch?
Do a luck roll.
Me or Dr. Keith?
I guess Dr. Keith has it.
Yeah.
Oh, 21. Yes.
Maybe it's a little warmer than her body temperature. It's in
It
your.
feels a little warm. I've been carting.
I mean, you don't want to touch it directly yet.
Well, get it ready, right?
Wait a minute.
The steward says, "General, is this your property? Do you have something that can show that this belongs to you?"
I look to the steward and I say, yes, we do. It appears, however, that we've lost it. Do you mind coming with me back to our room so that we can grab the proper paperwork?
Oh, I'm not actually allowed to leave the foregone. But if you'd go and bring it back to me, yes, I'll.
I look to the group and I say, yes, I will definitely go grab that. And I walk out of the foregone and I head back to the room and I don't know. I look around. I try and find something that I can make look like paperwork. Or I guess proper paperwork, clearance.
Yeah, that's going to fail.
All right, so here's what I'll do then. I'll wait a little while. I'll come back and I will look to Frank and I'll say, Frank, was it in your room?
Actually, let's go ahead and ask the others what they're going to do while you're doing that.
You go ahead and do that because I need to figure out what I'm going to do.
I was thinking, if the ruby if he has to be, how am I going to put this? My question was if Dr. Keith were to take the ruby and set it on top of the, will we see any sort of reaction? Would it start to glow or something like that? Does it have to be in the vicinity of something that's undead or? have to be directly right in front of them without any sort of obstruction.
Are you asking a question?
Well, I'm
not going to answer
wondering.
that question if that's what you're asking. You can do it or you cannot do it, but I'm not going to tell you what happens until it.
You can do it or never do it. There is no try.
I'll suggest it to Dr. Keith. What do you think?
Well, my worry would be that if we do this, it might sort of alert him to our presence. But of course, I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah. But if you put it on top of the lid, he won't be able to really escape. I mean, we have the box surrounded by garlic. We have both doors covered. And if the jewel is on top and it starts to activate, there's nowhere for him to run. The moment he comes out, he'll get burned. That's assuming that the jewel doesn't burn its way through the box and onto him.
Well, okay, I'll try it. I'll just holding it in the handkerchief. I'll just place it on top of the box.
Okay, so basically, from the steward's point of view, you've taken a lump of something and put it on top of the box in a handkerchief.
Oh no, I'm holding it with a handkerchief, but I'll put the actual gem, the naked gem, on the top of the box.
All right. Nothing happens, and the steward is like, "Mon Dieu!" He says, "That is a huge ruby."
I'll
Looks like this. I just keep having to show it because I paid for this damn thing.
I'll wrap it up again and put it back in my pocket.
All right.
Is the ruby
do a spot hidden, Dr.
to the touch now?
$86. No.
Okay.
I saw nothing.
All right. It's about now that Eldridge comes wandering back.
I'm going to make my way out into the hallway.
Okay. You see Eldridge coming.
Frank,
do you have a look on your face?
I've got the always look, just completely blank. and I go, I couldn't find any papers. We're gonna have to.
I remember it being in Rupert's room, but then of course, that a lot of things might have flown out the window.
That is true, Stuart. And I look at him and I say, our friend, the one who was murdered, his room was ransacked. It's possible that whoever ransacked the room also took the papers in order to take his belongings.
Persuade roll.
That's perfect, because I have a really high persuade.
Boy, that's the way to change the roll.
I know. Don't say that.
35. I'm good.
Well, monsieur, if you assure me that it's your property, if you need anything,
I don't know, possibly a crowbar so that we can get the lid off. We need to make sure it's still there.
Shut.
I'm sorry, Wayne, what did you say?
I was wondering, is the box nailed shut?
Oh, no. This is looks more like a piece of furniture than it does a crate.
Okay. So there's no need for a crowbar.
It looks like there's a lock on the side of it built in, but you don't have the key, obviously. But you've said that it was Rupert's. It's your friend's, and he got killed. Go ahead and persuade do another persuade and see if he'll get you a crowbar. Who asked for the crowbar?
Me, I did.
All right.
51. Can I spend the luck point?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right.
37.
So he's going to go get you a crowbar. You will be alone with the box for about 40 seconds, 50 seconds while he's getting a crowbar.
Want to just take a peek?
It is
Be on
locked.
guard.
It's locked? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, there's a built-in lock.
All right.
Is
Well,
there? I'm wondering if there's.
Well, let me
gaps.
say this. Well, yeah, you were gonna. I knew you were gonna say gaps. The lock itself is built in, and it's not a great lock, but there is a little give in the lid. The lid comes up maybe a millimeter, or so. So
Okay.
there's definitely enough room that you could put a crowbar between the lid and the box itself and pry it up.
And it's enough space for mist to flow into it.
Probably. You've got about 10 seconds before he gets back. Anything?
Does it smell?
You don't smell anything at all.
Doesn't smell like old man.
Mm-mm.
Alec didn't have a particular smell to him, did he?
Nope. All right.
And I'm actually asking Eldridge because
The steward comes back around the corner, and he's holding the crowbar like this as he comes around the corner. And he has a weird look in his eye. And just as you notice that, he's going to swing it at Eldridge.
make a dodge roll.
Sure.
Well, what did you get?
I got a 78.
I got a 70.
Well, neither one of us failed. Neither one of us succeeded. So basically, I didn't succeed. He
That's
swings
good.
it, but he's swinging it almost as if he's being controlled. All right.
Can I, in kind of stepping out of the way, can I bounce towards him and tackle him to the ground?
If that's your move.
That is going to be my move. Fighting brawl.
All right.
8.
You succeed. You run right into him and knock him down.
Okay.
Okay. And he seems to be moving slowly, sluggishly. He still has the crowbar, however.
I'm trying to put my full weight on him with my knee in his stomach, and I yell to someone, "Take the crowbar!"
you put a crowbar. I don't
I'm
have
gonna-
much strength, but
I'm going to go up behind Eldridge and start yelling at the steward. Steward, what's your name? What's your name?
All right. Wayne, did you see you were going to try to get the crowbar?
yeah.
You got cut out a little bit. Go ahead and do a luck roll, Wayne.
Okay. Nope. 76 out of 45.
Okay.
And all your luck.
Frank, do a psychology roll.
Oh, 6.
Wow. All right. By saying what you're saying to him, you can see it's almost as if you're you were hitting him, because he's trying to fight against whatever it is that is trying to control him. Dr. Keith, what do you do?
That's a very good question.
Just stand there and look pretty.
Well, it's my concern is that it's quite a confined space. Can I get through?
To them, no. You're kind of
No.
stuck behind everyone.
Um,
You're up near the coffin or whatever the thing is.
well, I suppose I'm left with the only option of just looking on impotently
Okay.
as this unfolds if I can't get to them.
He's let me do a power roll for him. Nope. He is going to attempt to swing the crowbar. Since you've kind of got him pinned, he's swinging it side to side, maybe at Dr. Dawkins' ankle. So go ahead, Dr.
So
Dawkins.
I should try to do a dodge.
Yeah.
20 out of 25.
That beats mine.
Take
So,
that, Dex roll.
he swings, but you jump your foot out of the way. All right, Eldridge, what are you going to do? You've got him kind of pinned.
I'm gonna take my fist and I'm just gonna sock him right in the face and try and knock him out. Hit him right between the eyes.
Go ahead.
Do minimal damage, but 35. I'm getting a lot of 35s.
He got a 95.
Oh,
So
that's
you effectively knock him unconscious. He falls
Good.
limp.
okay. So Dr. Dawkins can now probably grab the crowbar.
Right.
I turn to the coffin. I know what you are.
Well, it looks like he knows we're coming.
He's afraid.
So what do you do?
Can we just make sure that that we've positioned the luggage so that we're getting some light coming through the window? We haven't piled any luggage up in front of the window.
Okay. We'll say that you did that.
Okay. Right.
All right, so I'll hand you all a vial of the minced up garlic. You guys, everybody has garlic.
Okay.
To toss at him.
Okay.
I'm going to put that in my coat pocket, and I'm going to have my broomstick and my Bible ready to go.
Well, yeah, cool. I'm gonna have the dagger.
The Mem Sahis. Okay.
All right.
Dr. Keith looks ready.
I've got my steak out.
Should we do? Who's going to open it?
It's a steak with a little garlic on it, just for seasoning.
I will open it.
Okay.
Tasty.
So Eldridge, you jam the crowbar into it, and you're going to try to pop the lock.
Yes, but not before I hold up a thing of garlic. It's in between my hands as I grab the rounded bit, and I'm gonna pop.
Okay.
That's not good.
The second you hear the pop of the lock, the lid flies open with such force it actually cracks against the wall, and Fenelic leaps out of the coffin very fast and ready to attack. His hands are like claws. He looks really angry. And he also, at the same time, you do notice that he flinches and squints at the light coming through the window. But the light from the window is not falling on his coffin or him.
I shout, block off the exits. Get in between them.
Okay, well, he's going to swing at the closest person, which I think is Dr. Elizabeth.
Wow.
She's been the closest one in there. What do you do, Doctor?
Well, I'm going to attempt to dodge.
Okay, go ahead.
Horrifically poor dodge. Oh, so close. 28 out of 20.
He got 11.
Oh no.
So he connects one of his claws, or he does a slashing move. Where's my... and just grazes you. 1 point of damage.
1 point.
Okay. He actually has he gets 2 attacks because he's very fast. His other swing is going to come towards Frank. You try dodge. I got a 58.
I'm gonna try to fight back.
Okay.
No, wait, no, sorry. Yeah, smarter move would be to dodge.
With the stick? Oh, what? I'm sorry. Say that again.
Yeah, smarter move for me would be dodge.
Okay.
Fail.
Okay. And his other claw hits you for 2 points of damage.
2.
Right. Dr. Dawkins is next closest, so you can do something, Dr. Dawkins.
They will attempt to swing at him with the dagger, and I'm thinking of those bothersome some hands of his when I swing at him. He won.
I'm sorry, you got cut out.
I got a 21 out of 35.
Okay. You connect. The Mim Sahis does 2d4 plus your strength bonus.
All right, so that's just 5 points of damage.
Okay. However, something deep down inside of you tells you that at your will, you can cause something called a screaming wound, which is excruciatingly painful if you choose to.
Do I need to do a power roll or something?
Actually, yes. You actually have to expend some magic points. Say 2 magic points and do a power roll.
All right, that is a 47 out of 60 for the power.
Okay.
And I will take...
You lose 2 magic points.
All right.
So when you connect and hit him, he roars. He roars like a monster in outrage and pain. Eldridge.
I'm going to rip the sword out of the cane that's coated in the garlic, and I'm going to shout, "Die, you bastard!" And I'm just going to shove it into his back, or try to at least.
Okay. Well, you'd be facing his front, so.
That is definitely a fail.
Okay. You attempt to stick it in, and as you move forward with it, he moves to the side of it and just bends it into it's like a rapier, so it's fairly flimsy. It just bends in his hand. So
he touches it, and the garlic does not affect him.
Actually, it does. You can see it smoke a little, and he's in pain. But anybody can endure pain. So,
yeah. All right. Well, that was my attack. Everybody else.
Dr. Elizabeth and Frank. Well, Elizabeth, you go first. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. It's his turn. Dr. Elizabeth, I need you to do a power roll.
Okay.
What'd you
See?
get?
That's a 1.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh,
You get the distinct impression that he tries futilely, whatever. He tries in vain to control your mind, and in fact, you feel quite strong mentally. Like, get out of my head, you bastard! You know, you push him right back out. He is also going to try for Frank again to grab you with one of his claws.
I'm not going to try to dodge. I'm going to try to stab him with a stake.
Okay.
I had enough of this. And I fail. 60.
Okay. He also failed. So he swings at you and misses. Dr. Elizabeth, by the way, your side is now burning where the rock is.
Well, that's good because I'm going to take it out and
Okay,
use it.
we'll get back to you in a second because now it's
Okay.
it's Dr. Dawkins' turn.
oh. Okay, I'm going to try to attack him again.
Okay.
Fail with that. I got an 86, so I fail.
Okay.
But
You swing at him, and at this point, he's now fucking terrified of that knife. So he's staying away from you, which actually makes him a little more vulnerable to Eldridge. So Eldridge, go ahead.
Yep. So I'm gonna attack again. I'm gonna essentially take out my pocket knife, jam it into the garlic, and then swing at him and swipe.
Okay. Go ahead and try.
I can go ahead and try. That is just barely a pass at 57.
Okay. You manage to just nick him a little, actually on the face, just a nick, just a tiny little scratch. But when you do, when he sees that you also have a knife, he reacts as if he's now fucking completely terrified because you both have deadly killer knives that can kill him. He doesn't know that your knife is just a regular old knife.
Awesome. All right, how much do I roll for damage now?
It was just a nick.
Okay, that's fine.
What he does at this point is he pushes himself up out of the coffin and up against the wall, and he begins to move up into the upper corner. He's almost looming over. He's trying to get as far away from those knives as he can, which, since he's preternatural, he's doing the old climbing up the wall thing and onto the ceiling. It's only the ceilings in here are not very high, but that's the effect. He's backed himself into the upper corner of the room, and he's going into defense mode where if you guys, he's not directly attacking, but if you guys try anything, he's going to defend himself. And he says something to you in French. Does anybody know French?
Frank does conversationally.
12%.
12%. Go ahead and roll for it.
Oh, almost 16.
Well,
Plus 4 if it's important.
no, you don't need to. But what you get out of it is he's threatening you. He's cursing at you in French. I mean, you can get married and.
Is he making a remark about shaking hands with the five-fingered widow?
I don't know that one.
French is so I know.
But there's a lot of excrement in what he's saying. So,
dirty bugger.
Let's even this out. We'll go because you're laid out this way on my screen. Eldridge, Frank, Dr. Elizabeth, and Dr. Dawkins.
Tom, I'm wanting to know if I can leave the combat area.
Sure.
All right. I shout, I'll be back. I'm going to run out of the foregone, and I'm going to rush towards the kitchen.
Okay.
What I am looking for is a large metal, like a silver or like a stainless steel or a tin or whatever. Just a reflective metal dish or tin.
Okay, like just a serving tray.
Serving tray is perfect.
Okay. Now, I got to tell you, you're going to have to go halfway through this foregone, all the way through the following foregone, and into the kitchen, and then you're going to have to find it, and then you're going to have to come back. So that's going to be at least like 4 rounds.
See you tomorrow.
I still kind of want to do it because my plan, I think everyone kind of knows what I'm getting at. I know Frank is because he looked at me and he nodded.
I have another idea, but I don't. If you want to say that's your action before I get my idea out.
Well, I'm like turning on my heel, so if you want to shout your action to me.
Is it okay, Tom?
You can do that. Remember, anything that you shout is going to be heard by everybody in the room.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take my pistol out, and I'm going to point it at the wall.
At the wall?
The walls are wood, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're steel.
Oh.
I mean, the inner walls are wood, but they're steel reinforced inside. 1800s, it would have been mostly wood.
I think I know what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
What is the caliber? What is the caliber of your weapon, though?
38. It's not that big.
If you're thinking about punching a hole in the wall.
Yeah, I'm trying to punch a hole in the wall to let sunlight in.
Going to punch a little hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
like you mean like so that it might hit them a little bit, and you'll say, "Yeah, we've got plenty of bullets. We can just this little carton to cottage cheese." And
well, you don't really have time to discuss it. So, if that's what you're going to do, Frank, go for it.
So I'm not trying to stop you, Eldridge, but that's just my intent. So.
Well, why don't you do it, and we'll see the result, and if it works, I'll stop. But if it doesn't, I'll run.
Okay. I'll let you do it this way. Do a luck roll with a bonus dice. But if it fails, it ricochets.
Don't get a 99.
So 2 luck rolls?
Right.
Okay. I didn't get a 99.
Yeah, we got one more roll, so.
Well, I don't think it's going to matter. Oh, wait, bonus. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a penalty. Okay, yes, good. 46, that will be a pass.
All right.
I got a 96.
Your bullet does go through. Now I want you to do another luck roll to see if the little spot of sunlight actually hits Fenelon.
No, 87.
All right. So the light comes through, but it doesn't hit Fenelon. The sun is at a different angle than what you thought.
Okay.
With that, because it's left up to 2 luck rolls, I'm gonna go get that 10. We're gonna reflect light on this bastard.
I assumed you were already on your way.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Dr. Dawkins, what do you want to do?
I will take my little tube or vial of and I will fling it at him.
Okay. Go ahead and
all right. Got a 70 out of 20 because that's a throw.
Okay. Your vial hits the wall and shatters, and some of it splashes on him. But At this point, I got to explain that Fenelek is roaring. I mean, he is loud. He's almost deafening loud. He's terrified. He can't get away. The sunlight coming through the window has almost made a bar across the room. Dr. Elizabeth put garlic cloves above the windows and doors. He certainly can't go out the window because he'd go out into the sunlight. You got him backed into a corner. He's now an animal that you're torturing.
Here's a question. Since he's roaring, who else is hearing this?
I don't know.
Some of the other stewards hearing this?
I don't know how they couldn't. I don't know how they couldn't. So it's not really what you're thinking. I was just
wondering how loud. Okay. But yeah, my action. So
well, that was your action.
You
threw your vial.
Yeah,
Dr. Elizabeth.
And I didn't bring my gun or anything. So
I don't have a prop, so I'll have to use this iron palm bag. I'm taking out the ruby.
Okay.
And grasping it firmly in my bare hand.
Okay.
I'm going to hold it out in front of me.
All right. Do a luck roll for me.
16 out of 48. That's a pass.
All right. When you pull it out, you notice something. As it passes through the sunlight, nothing seems to actually happen. But as soon as it's out of the sunlight, it sparkles. But it's still in the handkerchief. Yes, you're not holding it in your hand.
Oh no, I'm holding it in my hand.
Okay. As soon as you do that, then of course you're feeling incredible hatred towards these people in the room, everybody. And like I say, as soon as the stone is out of the sunlight, then it begins to shine brightly. And you can see the beams of it hitting Fenelek, and he doesn't like it at all. He's screeching. Fenelek is going to attempt to do something desperate. He's going to attempt to just plow through you all and get away. I don't think he failed. He failed. So he makes himself for a moment quite vulnerable. Who's next? Eldridge, by now you're coming back down you're running back down to the room. So next round you'll be in the room.
All right.
Frank.
Well, my gun idea didn't really work too well, so I'm going to go back to trying to stab him with a stake. Can I reach him now?
Yes, he's quite vulnerable at this point.
Okay, I'll try. No. Not even close.
Okay. He manages to, not get stabbed. Okay, Dr. Elizabeth, Dr. Dawkins. What are you going to do?
All right. I'm going to try to stab him. And I make it. Just.
He got a 96. What? So you
right.
where? I'm going to give you this. Where are you going to try to stab him? What are you aiming for?
Well, if he's actually like running towards us, trying to plow through us, I'm going to try to ram it somewhere in his abdomen section, his center mass, basically.
You're going to ram it right into his right side. I'm sorry, his left side, as he's trying to get past you. He got a 96. Go ahead and go ahead and roll for damage. 2d4 plus strength bonus.
It's 6 points.
Okay. And is there anything that you'd like to do in the process?
Yeah, I will burn another 2 magic points.
Okay. Roll a power
And
roll.
take it. All right, let's not fail. 29 out of 60.
Okay. You cut him deeply and all along his side, and as he's trying to barrel through you all, he falls to the floor. So now you've actually got him on the floor as Eldridge comes around the corner. The beam of sunlight coming through the window is just above him, keeping him almost pinned to the ground at this point. And he looks in dire. He's now yelling something in Latin, maybe?
I can understand Latin.
Yes, me
I
too.
got a 50 in Latin.
It's a combination of vicious curses and pleads for mercy.
Oh, we're not showing you killed our friend. No. And
So
not showing you any sort of mercy.
So we're a lot harder to fight than some little girl, aren't we?
I'm gonna take the metal tray and I'm gonna reflect the light, and I'm gonna point the light directly at his hand.
Really? Okay. Oh, I dropped my dice.
I want to see what happens to his hand.
My dice went all the way across the room. Oh wait, I got another one.
Oh,
There it is.
well, that's good.
It's the dark one. I don't like the dark one because I can't read it as well. Well, he moves his hand. You can see that it smokes.
Okay, so this works. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at him. And I'm just gonna say, this is it. Like, what does it do? What does the Sedev card act? What does the Sedev card? What does it do? What does it do? Tell me what it does. You're gonna die anyways. You may as well just tell me. I'm gonna use a persuade. Can I use a persuade or an intimidate?
Would that be more of an intimidate?
I just didn't expect you to wait so long when you had him where you wanted him. He is in agony. He is going to ignore you and try to rip that thing out of your hand.
All right, I'll dodge. What did you get? I got a 72.
I got a 66.
Okay, you beat me. Well, I guess we both failed. Did he fail? I don't know.
Well, he tried. He failed.
Okay, yeah, I failed too.
So he grabs for it. He's not going to answer your questions. In fact, he can't stop screaming.
All right. I looked at the group. I'm like, this is it. Should I do it?
So you're going to take the time to ask the other people a question, okay?
I'm just going to.
Yeah.
I'll just shout abuse at you because I hate you. I hate all of you. I just mumble something like sucking Russian.
All right. If no one has any objections, I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna beam it right on his fucking face. I'm gonna envelop his body in light and just follow him wherever he goes like an insect.
Yeah.
Do a luck roll.
little luck roll. 23. When's my luck? 37. Cool. All right, I passed.
All right. Your light, your reflected light is having its effect. His skin is charring. He's turning black. His screams have turned into a howl. His skin is charring. The red light from the heart is getting brighter, and Dr. Elizabeth, you're pretty sure that you'd really like to kill Frank at this point because of the hatred in your heart for him. However, there's a few moments of smoldering and flame, and phenolic begins to crumble into black charred pieces, and you can see his bone structure for a few moments, and then he crumbles into dust on the ground. Smoldering black dust.
Holy shit, we killed Count Fenelic. The guy who's been like the main villain. I dropped the tin. This is great. I didn't. It was a joint effort.
I need to wrap up the ruby again. Do I have to make a power roll to put it down?
Yeah.
I kind of know what's going to happen now. Oh, unexpectedly, I passed that. 43 out of 60.
All right. You managed to wrap it up, but for a few minutes, for like 10 minutes, you really hate these people. Why did they bring you on this goddamn trip? I need you all to do sanity rolls.
Okay. 36, that's a pass. How much do I take?
44 pass.
If you passed, 1d4.
Okay.
If you failed, 1d8.
3. Unsurprisingly, shaken up.
I'm sorry, Tom. What were you running?
1d4 or 1d8. Pass or fail. Sanity roll.
Sanity. Fail. Surprise. Oh boy. 6.
Frank. Frank. Where are my cards? Now, when I need... Oh, through there.
Not to steal your happiness, but do I get to do an intelligence roll?
Yeah, I'll do that in a second.
Okay.
Actually, go ahead and do that first. Do an intelligence roll. And in this case, you want to fail.
I want to fail, which I have a 70, so let's see. 18.
Super smart.
My second best roll of the night.
I have 10 cards. Give me a number between 1 and 10.
Did you, were you kind enough to remove the red mist for me or not?
No.
All right, that's my 10. Yeah. And there's 3.
3. 1, 2, 3. You faint. You pass out.
Wouldn't it be funny if every single card was red mist?
Fucking paint.
I'm just about ready to, actually, because I'm stressed out.
So
right now.
you're like, that's over.
Thank God.
Can I
Red
grab
Mist
him?
and Elizabeth's seething hatred would have been a very, very bad mix.
It would have been really bad. So you were the only one that failed?
What was that?
Right. You were the only one that
Bloody.
failed.
Bloody wimp. Look at him.
All right.
All right, Elizabeth, calm down.
I'm making the angry 1920s woman gesture.
I need to ask you what you do now in the aftermath. You've got ashes on the floor. You've got the box open. You knocked out the steward.
I'm going to say that I begin scooping up the ashes, removing the head.
There's no head. There's
it's just
ashes.
All right, so I just take the ashes and I put it in the crate. Like it was just a fancy crate with ashes in it.
Is that a good idea to put the ashes in the crate? I mean, isn't that Earth? That's where he recuperates. Putting the ashes in there might make him come back.
You know what? You're right.
Why don't we just step ashes out the window and let the wind take it?
That's exactly what I was. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I'd like to open my vial of garlicky stuff and pour it on the. Is there soil in the box?
Yes.
Well, I'll pour it on that. In fact, actually, I'll take down the clothes that I hung in the window and the door and chuck those in there as well.
Okay.
Don't know why, but it just seems like the right thing to do.
I need to know what you're going to do.
I was going to question.
Go ahead.
Is the steward still knocked out?
No, he's waking up at this point.
All right.
Shut the box. Shut the box.
Okay. Somebody shut the box, and let's attend to the steward.
Well, before you attend to the steward, I need to know how you're going to deal with the situation that you're now in.
What do you mean?
How are you going to explain all of your actions in the last 5 minutes? You've got boxes all over the place. You've broken into somebody's box. You've knocked out one of the stewards.
Well, theoretically, they're not going to be able to find the owner of that box, will they?
And my idea with the steward, because the people don't really remember why when they get possessed, they don't remember anything. So when the man wakes up, I'm going to say, you grabbed the crowbar and you bashed yourself in the face with it, and you went out like a light.
Well,
everything that just happened took place in the space of a matter of seconds. Fenelix yelling has attracted attention. You're pretty sure there'll be people here in seconds. So
let's leave the window open.
No. I have an idea. It's not a good one, but it's an idea.
We'll go with it.
I hand the crowbar over to Dawkins. I'm going to close the crate, and I'm going to hold out my, not my left ring, my right ring finger. And I'm going to look at you, and I hope you understand what I'm getting at.
I didn't catch that last part. I'm sorry.
I'm holding out my right ring finger, and I'm putting it on the chest, and I'm looking at you with the crowbar.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right, you're the doctor. You know the way to do it.
You're committed.
Sure, right?
All right. So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna. I'll bring the coat propelled.
Yeah. So the plan is to break my finger, and I'll start screaming, and then when people run in, I'll say that my finger broke when the lid came tumbling down, or when I opened it with the crowbar or something, and I'm the one who's screaming, "Help! Help! Help! My finger is broken."
All right.
Okay.
So you're going to break his finger?
Sorry,
I'll do it.
But
I can't
you
stand
said
him. I
was
hate
doing,
him.
I
Give me
mean,
the crowbar.
it's not that I'm going to do it. I've already done it. He
Yeah,
put his finger out. I got
All right.
He wrote it down.
All right. So Eldridge is yelling in agony as his finger's been broken.
I'm sniggering a bit.
And then I'll drop the
Still
crowbar.
intoxicated from the...
You broke his finger good.
That's good.
There's a bit of bone poking out.
Great. Perfect.
But there's no blood.
Shit. Oh, it
As-
doesn't matter. It's okay.
All right. Just about that time, a couple of other stewards come running, and they're like, "What's happened? What's wrong?"
And I start shouting, my fucking finger. And I'm showing them the bone. Like, it doesn't matter that there's water coming out. The bone is sticking out. Fucking
Right.
help me.
Oh, monsieur, what has happened?
We were looking through the luggage, and I don't know what really happened, but something fell and it just broke my fucking finger, and I think it was the crowbar, and I point to the crowbar.
Right.
It was thrown to me.
The other steward, though, is getting up off the ground, and they're like, "What happened to you?" And he's like, I don't remember.
I looked to the crowbar and
I
said,
think one of the boxes fell on him. It all happened very quickly. I'm not entirely sure.
can someone please help me with my
Please
finger?
get some water. Please get some bandages.
Hold on. Let me ask a question. When Eldritch shows the bone poking and shows it towards the steward that fainted, got knocked out, how does he react to it?
Who, you mean the steward?
You look nauseous when he sees the bone
He's
poking
not
out.
really looking at it at all. He's like rubbing his face where Eldridge punched him.
I also, probably throw out the suggestion that perhaps he fainted when he saw the broken bone or something like that of my friend's finger.
He doesn't remember anything. The other stewards are helping him to get him up, and they're brushing him off because he's a steward.
I'll say,
can
you do me a favor? Go to my room and bring out my medical bag. I'll try to tend to Eldridge's finger.
Who are you telling this to?
Frank.
Oh.
I'll hand him my keys too. I guess we have keys to our room.
Frank? Oh, Frank has passed out.
Yep. Frank's passed out.
Yeah, and then I look. So then I look around and I was like, "Not you, Dr. Elizabeth. Can you?"
Well, they're trying to help Frank up, but he's out.
Okay. Wow.
He's out for 10 rounds.
Sorry,
What
were you asking me? It cut
you're out for 5 rounds.
I was asking if you could run to my room and grab my medical kit. So
What am
I
I,
can
your
tend to
skivvy?
Eldridge.
Sorry, am I still under the effect of the...
Yeah, probably a little bit.
Yeah, what do I look like? Your slave? We've got suffrage now. I'm not running around for you.
Why is there any reason for you to stay here? You can take Eldridge back with you.
Yeah, I'm just
Are you? Well, can you move? Are you okay? Another location. I'm actually putting this show on for the stewards, more or less. So
yeah.
The stewards are really concerned about Frank because he's non-responsive.
I say yes. Let's bring Frank back to the room as well. I looked at the stewards and I'm like crying because my finger has a compound fracture. But I say through my tears.
No, it's not a compound.
I thought it was compound when it sticks out.
Oh, okay.
And I look to the stewards and I say, I can't believe he fainted when he saw the bone sticking out.
Well, All right. Let's say that you guys get back to your cabin.
I'm going to the bar. I don't want to
Dr. Elizabeth goes to the bar.
You're having an eldritch moment.
I need to go and calm down.
You will be arriving in the little town of Svilengrad within 15 minutes. You're going to need to talk to the police. And Dr. Dawkins, what do you do about Eldritch's hand? You, of course, can repair that without any trouble at all.
I know. And that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I was hoping you'd do.
He's not gonna...
And he repairs it without any damage at all.
Look at that. I won't say anything.
I hear about coming.
I'm going to skip over part of this. All you do, you get the police. There's police that are, the police ask a lot of questions. It's finally decided that the maniac jumped off the train. And you will, the train is delayed for a while. As it's going to be, your train is now going to arrive in Constantinople tomorrow at just about noon. Okay. And so this will be your last night on the Orient Express. And we'll call it there. Okay? Our players included Thomas McKeon, Mick Swan, Jeff Wilkins, and Wayne Worthy, with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month will help us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We love hearing from you. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.